Hey, what's up everybody? This is Mark from Solo Games, and today I'm so excited about what just came in the mail last week. It's the Podamajig and the Cubeamajig. So these are a Kickstarter project that started, I think, 2 years ago by a company called Hit Point Press. And the whole idea here is that they built these things called Cubeamajigs, and this was the version 2, that's the Kickstarter project, that's meant to store booster packs of cards for you to run your cubes. Now, this design actually for the second version also accommodates for jumpstart packs, which is wonderful because that's kind of what I actually wanted to use this packs for. I'm not a cuber myself, but I know that a lot of people do cube, and I can see already why a pack like this can be very useful if you do run a cube. For my purposes though, I am trying to use these as recyclable objects for me to kind of recycle back the jumpstart packs, and so I can kind of play all the different packs and all the different deck combinations kind of endlessly. Now, the Podamajig is really meant for the storage system for your Cubemajigs. So with the Cubemajigs, you can kind of slide them into the Podamajig, and then that's a really nice thing that you can set on your shelf, bring to your friend's house, or just bust out whenever you are going to do a cube. And it's a nice storage option for you, and they look really nice from the surface. So there's that. But what I want to do today is actually just share and do a full review of the products. So without further ado, let's go to the lab and find out if these are worth your money. My grading scale is based on 3 different aspects: functionality, durability, and aesthetics, and a special bonus category given for what I call X Factor, which is basically anything that's unexpected or surprising to me, both positive or negative. For functionality, I'm looking for usability as designed and general ease of use. For durability, I'm looking for sturdiness, longevity, and the materials used to craft the item. And for aesthetics, I'm looking for eye appeal and really that frictionless design that sometimes we call 99% invisible. All of the grades will then add up to 100, and then any bonuses applied from X Factor will determine the final grade out of 100. Starting off with the Podamajig, the general aesthetic and eye appeal of this item is amazing. The cover looks amazing, the artwork is amazing, and the finish on the box is really, really, really good. It's smooth, it slides off without issues, and the inside of the box even looks amazing with the logo in a specific pattern. Now, the divider is where I have some issues. It looks cheap, and it really takes away from the entire experience of the box and the high quality of the outer side. When you put the Cubemajigs in place though, you can really tell all the art from the top. It just looks amazing when you put it all together. Moving on to functionality. I think the explicit choice to allow fitting 6 Cubemajigs is a big win. It is the perfect size for you to reach your hand in there and grab all 6 comfortably without having any issues. And of course, it does fit standard decks, commander decks, and other Ultra Pro deck boxes in there, along with maybe the Dragon Shield sleeve box if you use that one. It does not, however, fit anything else like Ultimate Guard Boulder, anything other fancy deck boxes and cases will definitely not fit inside here. Now, the plastic does work really well for Cubemajigs. It holds the Cubemajigs in place. It does not shuffle them around too much. The side has a space for you to dip your hand in there so you can grab multiple Cubemajigs at a time. And also all Cubemajigs will rise slightly higher than the top level of the plastic, which allows you easy access to each individual Cubemajigs as well. Moving on to durability. I think the box itself is top notch. The cardboard is thick and the artwork wraps around the box to the point where I don't see any place where I can peel the artwork off, which should help to make sure the artwork lasts a long time inside the box. The plastic, on the other hand, is made of hard plastic, which is nice, and it does feel like it is very durable. However, with the white lines where the plastic is bent for building out the actual dividers, it does make me question whether this plastic will last as long as the outer cardboard itself. I also wish this plastic was taped to the box a little bit better, and that way it doesn't make it move around as much and just look as cheap as maybe the rest of the box itself. So that part definitely can be improved for maybe the next version of design. For X factor for this box, I definitely come back to artwork once again. It's not just that the artwork looks amazing, but it's the amount of details they put in to, for example, wrap the artwork around the box and not just repeat patterns. Also, even pieces of the box where it normally wouldn't be seen with the lid closed, it's fully artworked out and the colors are vibrant. So those are all positives for this box. Now, onto the Cubemajigs. First up, aesthetics. The artwork is gorgeous, and there's so many options to choose from. And it really pops when you remove the outer film that protects the covering. So I highly recommend you do that. The cover is smooth and has a really nice hand feel, especially when you load it up with cards and put it in your hand. It fits nicely and fits perfectly. The box holding the Cubemajigs, though, does feel a little bit cheap. The corners don't always line up and it kind of bulges in weird places. But if you're going to be using Cubemajigs with a Podamajig storage system, you should be fine, and these boxes will be your storage for cards anyways. Lastly, for some of my Cubemajigs, I did see some factory errors where maybe the plastic was bent a little bit differently or the printing was a little bit off. But overall, I think the quality is definitely there. Moving on to functionality. Cubemajigs really hit this category out of the park. The Cubemajig is designed for 15 double sleeve cards, 20 single sleeve cards, or 30 sleeveless cards. And that means it's great for draft packs, jumpstart packs, which are 20 cards, and Commander Legends draft packs, which are also 20 cards. So as a test, I did Ultra Pro 20 card sleeved, pass. Dragon Shield 20 card sleeved, pass. And again, reminder, Dragon Shields are the thicker sleeves, so they worked without any issues. Next up, KMC Perfects plus Dragon Shield sleeves with 15 cards, and it was also a pass. And lastly, for sleeveless cards, I did use 32 cards in total, and that was a pass as well. 32 cards simply because I just want to try to leave the token also inside the pack in, and it did work out without any issues. For ease of use, the cards go into the pack pretty easily. It slides well against that smooth plastic, and it definitely feels like somebody put in some work and effort and thought to see how big the sleeves will be against the packs themselves. The clasp can be a little bit funky for any full Cubemajigs, so that is a little bit minus, especially if you want to clasp both the top and the bottom for extra security. A single clasp is secure enough, but doing both clasps is better in that it will secure your cards better and it will have a nicer view whenever you put that into your Podamajig. Each box comes with 10 Cubemajig packs, and that does work pretty well, especially if you're running 24 packs or 30 packs for your cubes. Now let's talk durability. The plastic is sturdy. It does look like it will last for a long time. The glue that holds the box together first seemed a little bit weak, but it actually does seem pretty strong and ready for multiple use. The flaps at first also seem like they won't last very long, but again, I did some testing with it and it does feel like it is solid material, and somebody probably put a lot of effort into thinking about the flaps and how they would manage over long periods of use. The clasp seems like the place where it would see the most damage. It does feel like the clasps are harder to close whenever you fill it with 20 sleeved cards or 15 double sleeve cards, and that may cause issues with durability long term for use. But for now, again, that plastic does feel pretty good and it should not have any problems long term. Now onto X Factor. There were a couple elements that really surprised me about the Cubemajigs. First of all, the Mox Cubemajigs have different images on the back and the front. On the front, it's the Moxes, and on the back, it's actually one of the characters. So that is really, really cool. The film protective covering can be a bit difficult to peel off, but again, my recommendation, just go slow, and you'll see that basically all of the film actually connects to each other, and it makes it peeling easier as long as you go a little bit slower. it links up to the next section. My only other gripe is that there's just too much plastic. Maybe I would be okay with not having the plastic covering film at all. It would definitely save me time peeling it off, but also would maybe just use less plastic overall in the production process. Now, it probably would detriment the eye appeal. Maybe you'll have surfaces that are scratched. So I can definitely see why they did it this way. So in conclusion, both the Podamajig and the Cubeamajig are excellent products. Starting with the Podamajig, it's really a great product. I mean, from the artwork to the finish to the design, it's everything you really want within a high quality product. When you put it on the shelf, it looks like it's high quality. And you can tell really holding this thing in your hand as you use it that somebody really put a lot of work, thought, effort into making this product a reality. The only thing that really detriments this product for me is that inside inner dividers. I think the dividers feel cheap, they look cheap, and of course it has that nice whiting where the plastic bends, and it just takes away from, again, a much higher outer shell compared to the inner. Had it been maybe made of a different material, maybe neoprene fiber, where it had that soft touch, but also be able to hide some of those deficiencies, I think it would make a much better product. Overall, the other part of it too is if you're trying to use this thing as a general storage solution for your cards, for your decks, it's just probably not as good as a lot of the competitive products on the market for that purpose, because it doesn't fit normal deck boxes. You can't really store those many things, and otherwise you're basically putting raw cards in, but there's no natural dividers for you to kind of make sure the cards don't slide around as you move the box around. So in my opinion, this box is really meant for the Cubeamajig. So if you're going to be using the Cubeamajigs and you run cubes, excellent product. Otherwise, probably just use a different storage solution for this here. So in conclusion, the Podamajig gets a solid 80 out of 100 for me. So it's still a good B, but it's not really up there with some of the top tier products. Now onto the Cubeamajigs. These are high quality products. From the artwork, from the way that this box feels once you peel off that protective plastic layer on top, it just works really well. I was surprised that the plastic actually lasted as long as it did. I really thought in my testing of bending those pieces back and forth, I would actually bend and break maybe something off, but nothing really came off, and nothing even showed signs that it was going to come off. So that is definitely an excellent point. It also signaled to me that probably the designer behind this product thought through which joints are the bendable joints and put actual effort into making sure those will last longer than probably you expect from other plastic materials like this. In addition to this, it passed all of my tests. I mean, it fits 30 sleeveless cards, 15 double sleeve cards, but also 20 sleeved cards, even in thick dragon shield sleeves. That's really amazing. And when I'm sliding the sleeves in, I could definitely tell that somebody thought through and tested with these sleeves as well when they designed this product. The size it's perfect, but at the same time, it's not so difficult to push the sleeves in that it feels like you're about to damage either the sleeves, the cards, or the cube itself. I think if you're running cubes, you should buy this product. It's an amazing product, and you're gonna love using these things for your cubes forever. In fact, if you're running cubes, I would probably do both. Do the Podamajig and the Cubeamajig, and you should enjoy it. For me personally, I will be using these for my Jumpstart decks, and they will be amazing, and I expect them to use them for a long time. For the Cubeamajig here, I would give it a final rating of 92 out of 100. For some of the extra factors, but just in general, it passing all of the tests, I think these are amazing. I think long term, these are going to be great products. So I highly recommend everybody who even remotely thinks they're going to be running cubes to highly recommend picking this up. Again, the price point isn't really that bad. It's about $1.50 each. Anyways, that's going to do it for me for Solar Games. I'm Mark. I hope you enjoyed this review, and I hope it was helpful for you. Stay classy.